All right, today we're pulling back the curtain on a really powerful and kind of secretive marketing engine. We're going to take a deep dive into the automated systems that content creators are using to drive just massive amounts of traffic on platforms like OnlyFans, and they're using social media as the fuel. So let's get right into it. So, you ever scroll through social media and wonder how some accounts just seem to explode overnight? You see these creators getting thousands and thousands of subscribers, and you probably think, wow, they must have gotten lucky with a viral post, or maybe they just have a huge ad budget. But what if it's something else entirely? What if that growth isn't organic or even manual? The reality is, behind a lot of these super successful accounts, there's this incredibly sophisticated automated engine. It's a system that's literally designed to work around the clock 24/7, just relentlessly promoting and driving traffic. It's a machine, and it's built for one thing and one thing only: getting people to click and convert. Okay, so to really understand how this machine works, we've got to start with the foundation. And it all begins with building what you can only really describe as a digital army. We're not talking about one or two accounts here. This is about creating the assets you need for mass outreach on a truly industrial scale. And look, when we say scale, we really mean it. The playbooks we're digging into, they don't mess around with just a handful of social media profiles. No, we are talking about managing thousands of accounts all at the same time, all working together to hit a single goal. So this right here, this is the technical backbone of the entire operation. First, they load up thousands of accounts into a piece of software. Then, step two, and this is absolutely crucial, each and every account gets its own unique proxy. That makes it look like each one is coming from a totally different computer. And finally, they're all run inside these special anti-detect browsers that completely hide the fact that they're automated. So why go through all that trouble, right? Well, the whole point is to make every single automated account look like a unique, totally legitimate person to platforms like Instagram. By using all these proxies and special browsers, the whole system just flies under the radar. It avoids getting detected, and more importantly, it avoids getting banned, even when it's making thousands of moves every single day. But having an army of thousands of accounts is completely useless if you're just firing blindly into the dark. You need targets, and this is where the system gets really smart. This is where it uses a powerful technique called data scraping to gather intelligence. You can think of lead scraping as the brain of the engine. It's this whole automated process of scanning social media to pull out lists of users who are the most likely to actually be interested in the content. It turns what would be a random shot in the dark into a really targeted, surgical strike. And as you can see, the methods here are incredibly specific. This software can literally scrape a competitor's entire follower list. It can grab every single user who liked or commented on a rival's post, or even someone who just used a particular hashtag. What you get at the end is this pre-qualified list, not of random people, but of highly probable customers. And this is the secret sauce. This is what makes it all so efficient. The system isn't just spamming everybody. It's creating these super curated lists of people who've already shown they're interested in similar creators or content. So the very first message isn't cold, it's warm, which dramatically boosts the chances of getting that click. Okay, so we've got the army, we've got the targets. Now what? Let's move into the execution phase. This is where we see how the system turns all that data and all those accounts into a massive automated outreach campaign. This is where the army gets its marching orders. The campaign isn't just one single action. It's more like a multi-pronged attack. As this chart shows, it's a mix of different automated moves. A huge chunk, you see, is dedicated to just mass posting content across those thousands of accounts. Then you've got mass DMs, automated comments on specific posts, and even auto-following people just to get their attention. I mean, the sheer volume here it's just hard to even wrap your head around. When you can automate posting across a whole network of accounts like this, you can push out 1,000 pieces of content a day. And the result of that kind of activity? Well, it's pretty inevitable. A massive, massive flood of traffic. But here's the catch. You can't just flip a switch on a brand new account and have it send 500 DMs. It would get flagged and banned instantly. So there's this really important first step called warming up. During this phase, the bots act like real people, scrolling through their feeds, liking a few posts, leaving a generic comment here and there. They do this to build up a history and seem legit. Only after an account is all warmed up do they launch the full throttle high volume campaign. Okay, but generating all this activity, all this noise,
that's really only half the battle. All of that traffic has to lead somewhere. And this brings us to the final and honestly the most ingenious part of this whole playbook, optimizing the funnel to turn all that automated traffic into actual money. The source material actually calls this the real hack. Instead of using your main, valuable social media profile for all of this risky automated activity, you create a whole network of what they call satellite accounts. These are basically the disposable soldiers out on the front lines doing all the risky work.
And this explains the structure perfectly. You have dozens, maybe hundreds of these satellite accounts, and they're the ones doing all the heavy lifting, the mass posting, the mass DMs. All of their content is basically just teaser content designed to get interested people to head over to one central main account. That main account stays totally clean. It does zero risky behavior, which protects it from getting banned, and in its bio, that's where the prize is, the single crucial link to the creator's OnlyFans page.
So what you end up with is this fully automated content network. It's a whole web of accounts that are constantly working for you in the background, funneling a steady stream of pre-qualified traffic directly to your money-making link, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even while you're asleep. And all of this brings us to a final thought. I mean, a system like this is undeniably powerful. From a pure marketing standpoint, it is ruthlessly efficient. But it also brings up some pretty interesting questions, doesn't it? When automation operates at this kind of scale, perfectly mimicking human behavior to build trust and drive sales, where exactly do we draw the line between aggressive marketing and, well, outright manipulation? It's definitely something to think about.